Hello everybody, this is Doll Dazzler and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys another doll out of my doll collection. This is a bed doll made by the Sterling Doll Company in the 1930s. This doll is made out of composition and cloth. Bed dolls were very, very popular up through even the 60s, I believe. They're not so popular anymore, but you can on occasion find a couple of them out there. But back in the day, they were very, very popular to dress up your bed area. And I had seen this doll a couple of times in an antique store, and I had neglected to buy her for quite a while until I saw that her price came down, and it was significantly less. And I still was very hesitant because this doll has quite extensive damage in her arms. She does have a little bit of crazing and cracking in her face, but it's nothing compared to her arms, and she's still in really really good shape as far as her face and her head is concerned. So when I saw that she went on sale, I went ahead and I purchased her because she is from the 1930s, so she is very, very old, and needs to probably have a little bit of restoration done, or purchase some new arms for her. But from all the dolls that I saw online when I was doing the research on her, it doesn't appear that she has had any kind of a makeover on her eye paint or any of her facial paint. And that's really, really a nice thing, because a lot of these dolls, people get a hold of them and they want them to look pretty again, and they think that they can handle painting them. But that's not always, doesn't always turn out like they want it to. But this one doesn't show any signs of somebody getting a hold of her with some paint. So I'm very happy about that. She does have a little bit of cracking going on here by her nose, but that's nothing, it's not really all that seriously bad. And then she's got a little nip here and a little bit of paint rub on her chin and then her neck area, a little bit of cracking. But like I said, her paint is in beautiful condition. She does have a little bit of bad cracking through the composition on her neck. And I'm hoping that if I ever find somebody that can do restoration, that I quite possibly would have them do just the neck area and her arms. But I'm thinking that her arms are in such bad shape that they probably need to be replaced. On occasion, you can find arms online, and so that's probably what I'll have to do with her. So let me just show you that now. So this arm here is probably the worst out of the two. And this kind of gives you an idea of if you have a vintage doll, if you have a composition doll, keep them out of moisture, because this is what can happen over time if they're in a lot of moisture. So the paint is flicking off, and it's coming off as I speak. And then you can see these very dark cracks. This is cracking all the way through the composition, and so this is what makes me think that I really don't think that these arms can be restored necessarily. I don't know. I don't do restoration, so I really even hate to touch her a lot, because I'm afraid that they might break a little bit more. And then the tip of her thumb there, you can see that's what composition looks like underneath the painting. It's got a little brown it's wood pulp and glue put together. And so that's a good example of what can happen to a composition doll over time if it's not taken care of. So it could be a little bit of the sun damage as well that messed up the paint, made it crack, and then moisture. She must have gotten into some kind of water. The other arm is not as bad, but it does have still got some deep crazing in the arm here, And this is up here. It's just now starting. This doll is now in a temperature-controlled room, so I'm hoping that it doesn't get any worse. But once that has started, you know, it's already kind of hurt the doll, at least her arms. Now I don't know if I can find these again, these particularly arms, and this finger is also broken on this side here. So it kind of gives you an idea what that composition looks like. Her legs and her lower bodice are made out of cloth. See if I can show you that. So they just dangle, but that's good for laying on the bed. You don't want to have joints necessarily. Bed dolls didn't have joints, so she just has composition then just a little bit above her ankle, and then that meets with the fabric. I don't see any indication that the fabric has been changed on this doll either. All original clothing, and the fabric's in really good condition. So both feet, nothing the matter with them, not cracked or anything, which is really nice. I don't know how hard it is to replace feet, but I know I've seen arms and maybe full legs of composition. So she's wearing her original dress. It's a very pretty dress, but it's definitely sun faded from sitting probably on somebody's bed that was aimed at the sun. She does have a little bit of a spot right there in the middle there. It should have been a more vibrant pink, because in the back where she's been sitting all these years is definitely a lot more pink. So you can definitely tell so she's had some sun bleaching. Another good reason to keep your dolls out of direct sunlight, because it does ruin the fabric. Fabric and sun do not get along with dolls, so keep them out of direct sunlight. And then on her back here, she does have a little bit of paint loss going across her shoulder, and some a little bit of crazing there on the neck. But her head is in really good shape, and so I was very pleased that that I could purchase her, and her head was not extremely damaged, and no refresh of paint. Sometimes when you don't know how to restore a doll, you can actually ruin the value of the doll. I don't know at this point that she would necessarily have a whole lot of value with her arms in the condition that they are in, but if I'm able to replace them, it will definitely it will help bring her back to her vibrant self. Her hair is a mohair wig, and then it's a little bit matted. These wigs over time they get dust and dirt in them, and so they become a little bit matted, but it is original. You can definitely tell it's original. So she's not a bad looking doll. She's very pretty, but just has a lot of that damage in her arms. Her markings are along the back. Sometimes these dolls aren't marked, but this one actually is. So right where her composition would meet the cloth, it says Sterling Doll Company right across there. And then this is kind of a neat thing to show you as well, is how her bodice hooks into her legs. Now I don't know if this is something that somebody did after the fact or if this is what the company did, but there is a little nail in there. But there should be something that holds into the little ridge along this area, and I haven't looked at the front side to see, but I think that nail was probably put in afterwards. I don't know. So the skirt underneath, these dresses are very large so that they can sit around the doll on the bed. So the skirt underneath is a little bit raggedy, but it's still original and very heavy. And so there's a little bit of tearing in that underneath dress. And on the front, I can't see what's going on, so there's too much dress there. But her pantaloons are original. Dress is made out of like a linen with some netting, and the netting is actually in really good shape. Sometimes the netting is the first thing to go on an outfit from the 30s because of all of the years and storing and all of that. Usually the netting is very brittle. But anyway, so she's actually in pretty good shape on her face. So if you guys have a doll that's a bed doll, any bed doll, in fact, and you'd like to share a picture or video, please leave that in the comments for me. I'm interested to see some of the 60s as well. I do have a couple of the bed dolls from the 60s that are clowns, and they're a little bit different than this particular doll. I do love this doll because she is vintage, and she does have on her original clothing. So I'm hoping that maybe even somebody out there that's a good restorer of dolls has any ideas for me. I'm thinking that one arm is probably a lost cause, but you never know. So if you guys have any bed dolls that you'd like to share, please leave it in the comments for me. And this is a bed doll from the 1930s. If you guys like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.